I'm working on finishing a few little things on this Duramax Denali XL so that I can sell it. The majority of what you need to do to swap one of these is pretty easy. If you swap the engine mounts from a Duramax frame onto the 2500 Burb frame, the engine bolts in. Had to drill new holes, maybe an inch back for the transmission cross member, shorten the drive shaft, modify the shock mounts for the 11.5-inch axle. And to clear the engine and transmission, the body needs to be a little higher because the HD bodies sit higher. So I made a tapered body lift. So it's 2 inches in the front, tapered back to just sitting on the stock mounts in the rear. And this being a Denali, I had to do quite a few modifications to get the bumper to fit. I modified the fog mount, or the fog light mounts, to move the fog lights out because they were hitting here. I had to trim the core support on both sides to clear this, and I had to extend these brackets up because the body's sitting higher. And I made spacers to raise the bumper up so that there was no gap under the grill, and then the tow hooks were too low, so I drilled new holes for the tow hooks. But this thing runs and drives good. It's really solid underneath. There's no rust on this body. The frame's solid. I rebuilt the suspension, put new brakes and shocks on it. Nothing leaks. All the fluids and filters are new. This thing should be pretty trouble-free for somebody for a long time. The LLY and Allison I put in this came out of a wrecked dually that I bought from a dairy, and that had 203,000 miles on it, but he told me he had the engine replaced. So I contacted the shop that did it, got a receipt for the engine. It was replaced at like 187, so this brand new engine only had 16,000 miles on it. There's 200 on the transmission, and the transfer case is newer, so I don't know how many miles are on the transfer case. It only takes a couple wiring additions to make this work. Actually, I don't think you really need to add them to make it run, but you need to add a communication wire for the Allison and a wire for the wait to start light. And because these have a rear HVAC, what I did on this one and the last one, I cut this Suburban line and welded it to the Duramax line. That worked fine on the other one. This one had a pinhole in it, and I tried to re-weld it, and because it's a dirty, oily piece of aluminum, that wasn't working so well. So I think I need to fix that. I'm wondering if I could get like a flare fitting and just cut this out and flare both ends and screw them together. There's got to be a better way to tie all this together. I need to find like some aftermarket. If I put adapter fittings for just normal like flared AC lines, I could use a Y or a T or something. But that works, and it clears the hood and everything. And the body and interior on this are in really good shape. There's no rust or dents in it. There's just a few spots where the clear coat has baked off. I've been trying to find a hood this color because that'll be easier than repainting this hood. And there's a little on the roof, which I don't really care too much about, and a little on the door, which really isn't that bad, but I could try to re-clear the top part of the door. I don't really want to re-clear the whole door. People say not to spot repair clear coat, but it would look better than what's there. And the interior on this is in really good shape. So this turned out really nice. I really like it. This is not my favorite color. I like this color, but I want a black one. And I've been trying to find a black Denali XL to build my next one because I have a 2500 frame and an LBZ donor. And I also want an LBZ rather than an LLY. So because all of this just kind of fell in my lap, I put this together, and just through buying parts trucks and stuff, I ended up with everything I needed to build this. So I built this one to make some profit on, and I just need to wrap up a couple little things so I can list it for sale, but it's a lot of fun to drive. And my Jimmy over here is next. I started this one. It's sitting on a 2500 Suburban frame that I shortened to that wheelbase. I still need to make the body mounts. There's an LB7 and Allison sitting under the hood there. I'm modifying a donor core support to bolt to these fenders, and then I'll have to make headlight brackets. And I will take it all apart and paint the frame. I want to put a lift on it and some wheels, but that's money I don't want to spend right now. And then I will paint this. So I got to modify all the wiring and get the frame painted, and then I'll start working on the body.